Hello viewers and welcome to our channel. I'm your host Kosgei Salim. Today I'm privileged to have a guest and he will be telling us a little bit more about himself. So without wasting my time, please welcome to our channel and let us know your full names.
Thank you, Salim. My name is Trevor Kiputo. I'm from Kenya.
Yeah.
I live in Nairobi, Eldoret, kila mahali nimekaa. Mombasa pia, Kisumu, wapi, nimekaa kila mahali. Lakini originally nyumbani ni Eldoret. Yeah.
So Trevor, for me to be able to understand you clearly, I would like you to give me a little bit more of your background, like nyumbani ni wapi, mlikuwa wangapi, growing up, so that I should be able to have a baseline to know who's really Trevor, Yes.
So Trevor, I'm a firstborn son to my parents, of course. I have a younger sister. She's in high school and also Makabarak. Nimelelewa na very hardworking parents. They're civil servants. My dad works with the NIS and my mom works with the ACC. Very hardworking parents. They've trained us to be self-sufficient children, hardworking, responsible. That's how they brought us. And up to where I am, nawashukuru kabisa. Mpaka mahali pale nimefika. That's all.
Anything like, what was the routine? Like, there's something, some houses they have a routine that says like Sunday is always church, or in my house you should be at home by this time. There should be a routine.
Of course. So me having grown, I usually like to say this. My dad is a military man. So kulelewa na a military man how it is. It's always that tough love. So sisi, personally for me, I've lived to be in a very strict household. So for those who understand how it is being brought up in a strict household, it's just strictness. So hiyo mambo ya kuingia nyumbani nini, of course hiyo curfew ilikuwa. Kwa lazima by 5 kwa nyumba. So mimi sijazoea maisha ya kutoka nje, kwenda party, club.
How do you find that one now? Then and now, kids of these days, like where they say this, especially like now in Australia, there's no rule,
True.
How do you find it? Like, is it challenging, or you feel like there's no longer moral that holds people?
No, that depends on how the kids have been raised. I like saying charity begins at home. So if you teach your kids good morals from, let's say even if they came from Kenya at a young age and they've been growing in Australia, and you still instill those morals in them at your house at a young age, then they will grow to be people who are going to like adore and love and respect them.
So before I proceed, do you want to tell us your high school or your primary and one of your high school? Just
So me, primary school I studied in Eldoret. Then high school, same thing, Eldoret as well, Tarbo.
And then you moved to Nairobi?
And then, no, still my parents were working in Nairobi, so me I just schooled in Eldoret.
Okay. Now, I can say I'm privileged to be able to speak with your father over the phone several times. And I learned something from him because I didn't know his career. But when he talked to me, and he talked to me several times, I ended up understanding these guys are straight as bullet. And the way he was telling me things, the way he was articulating, I said, man, this man is a straightforward man. So to be a privileged person, to have someone like that as your father, what lessons have you learned from him? Because for him, when he talked to me, he told me, my son will be coming on this day, this one, this and this, my son is like this, my son is like that, and he was straightforward. I haven't been privileged to meet him, but when I talk to him over the phone, I can feel that this man is just straight. What do you feel like, say, like a Trevor? These are the morals, whether my dad is there or not, I still hold on to it, These are things I learned from him.
So for me, my dad is my best friend. He's my role model. He's a very hardworking man. And all these things that I see from him, I also get to absorb that energy from him. He's hardworking, he's patient, he's kind, he's very smart. So hizo zote mimi nimechukua kutoka kwake. My dad is someone who anaogopa sana. Na watu wengi anaogopa sana. Sababu hiyo background yake, someone who's very let me say frank.
Yeah.
He calls it the way it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you have been able to observe that one and cultivate it to you, yeah?
Exactly. Yeah.
Because you know what I'm asking this one is because sometimes people tend to behave differently when they are not with their parents.
Yeah.
But if you can see someone and say, this guy was raised well because with or without someone seeing him, he's always articulate and he says what he means, you know, in other words, means what. And that one, I find it amazing because when I speak to your dad, when I see you the way you do your thing, I'm like, there must be something I want to know what's going on. That's why I asked that question.
Yeah, I'm the representation. The way you see me, that's how you see my dad. Yeah. I'm the correct representation of my dad.
So you say you spend more time with your dad and you didn't build father-son relationship, you build friendship.
Friendship and also father-son relationship from a very young age. Yes, I've been spending time with my dad from a very young age. Whenever you'll be going to the office and I'm office, he does things, take me back home. So since from a very young age.
What's the best gift that you remembered from your childhood that your parent gave to you, or that really changed you, the trajectory of your life? You know, that says, you know, I remember I have a friend of mine in Sydney. He used to say to me, if at all I'll ever buy a Range Rover Sport, that's the end of me, then I can die the next day. So, you know, there's some things that people say prioritize, and there are some things for me, like for me, I say to myself, I don't remember the fun things or the amazing things, but I remember the lessons that my dad and my mom used to say to us. My dad used to say to me, a smart man, you don't have to tell him twice, just tell him once.
Yeah.
So he didn't like repeating over and over, like, oh, don't do this is wrong, you know. So my dad would just tell you once, and the next thing will just give you an eye, you know. So I tend to learn that one, and I tend to observe it slowly, and sometimes I find myself saying the same thing, you know, and I find joy in it, you know. Yeah. So what is the thing that you remember the most of your childhood?
For me, it's too much. Okay. But one thing, I think we've already mentioned it. It's just that father-son time.
It's more than gifts.
Yes, it's more than gifts. It's truly more than gifts. Just that father-son. That's all. That's all I actually remember, and that's all I love. That's what my father gave to me. Yeah.
So like now, you know, people who are disadvantaged, to say they grew up in a single parent home, they miss this thing, you know, because like the way you say father-son, it's the same way for me, father-son. I was scared to speak with my mom, but I was open to speak with my dad more. So I think these kind of bonds are very, very important.
Yeah, in a family you should have a father figure. Yes, fathers are everything. Not that I'm saying mothers are also not everything. No, let's not also be biased, but of course there's that masculine energy that you need from a father.
I'll tell you one thing about my mom. My dad used to be a long distance driver, so he wasn't home all the time. So my mom was the dad and the mom, okay, because my dad could go for a 1 month without
seeing you.
So I remember specifically for me, when my mom found out that I've done a mistake, me and my other brother, it could whip us, okay, so much. And then when dad comes and they report the matter to the dad says, still whip them, okay. So he reinforces what the mom has already been done. So we didn't have bias to say, oh, you can run to the mom or you can run to that. So it reached a point whereby my mom used to whip me more than my brother, okay? One of my elder brother. So, and I ended up developing a thick skin.
Yes.
To an extent, when my mom is whipping me, I no longer feel it. I start counting. 1, 2, 3, and then he whipped me more than my brother. First time, second time, third time, and then I feel like, I think I'm the black child in the family and nobody wants me, okay? So one day I approached my mom. She was in a happy mood. I don't know if she still remembers. This long time ago. So I approached my mom and I said, I feel like you don't like me, you know? And I saw my mom, she started crying, and she said to me, it's not that I don't like you. I see potential in you, but I see the way you are trying to go.
You're trying to lose your focus.
Yeah, I have to do everything to put you in line.
Correct.
I tell you, from that time until now, it changed the way I see things. And it changed sometimes because I've worked with people like, I used to work with another man called Malagay, and Samantha's dad. And he used to put me in a hard task. And from there I learned that no matter how the situation is hard, these people are training me to be a better person. So I didn't want to take credit off only from mom. So that's why I'm giving you the side story of my mom, you know. So from that day onwards, I stopped nonsense, you know, and I ended up becoming the boy that my mom could look up to, you know. Now, let me ask you another question now. Growing up and in school, what was your aspiration? What did you want to be?
So, me growing up in school, in high school, I just used to be a very humble boy. I used to be a leader in school. I was an environment captain for the school. I was a class prefect. I was a timekeeper. And then last year for my high school, I was a class prefect for my class. So that tells you the type of person that I am. I left a really, really good name for myself in high school, up to date, and really respected in high school. Okay, it's funny that I usually don't like talking about family things, but I have my cousin who's studying at the same school as me, and okay, you can try and compare these two people. They're from the same bloodline, but of course you're seeing they're not very, very same. So let me not go deep into that, but that can tell you the type of person that I am.
So that one also you still credit to your upbringing.
Yes.
That really molded you, you know?
Exactly.
I managed to become a class prefect in class 7 only.
Primary school.
Class 7.
Not high school.
Not high school. Because the reason why they gave me to become a prefect in class 7 was what was mathematical. That class, everybody were almost older. And I was among the oldest, but a little bit clever. Now, if they put a lady to become a class prefect, and then she can't write noisemakers because the noisemakers are made of, some of them were already made in beer. So you know, so they put me to be in that. So I used to find myself in between hard and a rock. Whereby when the teacher comes in and say, I need list of noisemakers, the guys who are making noise are older than me.
It's true.
So and I know that if I put their names down,
you're gonna have a time.
But also they knew me that I was a thick skin man. I don't condone nonsense. So sometimes they put me so that we used to weigh the skill, you know. You can't tilt this way too much and you can't tilt this way too much. So so that was a little bit of leadership. But other than that, I've been managed to be leaders in other environment, and I was a leader in my community, youth, you know. And I learned that for you to have a good trajectory in life, you have to start taking responsibility as early as possible. So I don't know if you agree with me.
I agree.
Now, fasting forward. You finish your high school. I have a tricky question for you.
Go ahead, ask me.
Why did you choose to go to Malaysia?
So, ever since I joined high school, my parents they were never for the thing of, let our son study in Kenya. You know how universities in Kenya. I'm not saying they're bad, they're okay, they're very good, but you know what happens down there. So, since I joined high school, the thing that just used to be talked about in that house was like, okay, we Kimaliza high school, must go study abroad, So me, in my head, I just knew, okay, whenever I'm going to finish high school, I'll be studying abroad. So, it to that point where I finished high school, and then now comparing my grades with what I wanted to do. So, we looked for universities everywhere, and also when you're looking for university, you have to look also for some place that is fair and also cheap in terms of tuition fee and all those expenses. So we settled for Malaysia. Malaysia is a Muslim country. Of course, you have to take your kids to a country that is not really exposed.
Yeah.
And in Malaysia, it's, as I said, it's a Muslim country.
Yeah.
Muslim people, you know how they are.
Yeah.
They are well in tune with their religion. So that's how I went to Malaysia.
Because people don't talk about Malaysia.
Yes.
People talk about Australia, Canada,
Yeah,
US,
yeah.
Finland, nowadays with its drama.
Mm-hmm.
I heard a little bit about Cyprus. So now let's dive into this Malaysia, because maybe someone somewhere wants to go to Malaysia, wants to send their parents to Malaysia. Did you apply to Malaysia when you were in Eldoret or when you were in Nairobi?
So I applied to go to Malaysia when I was in Nairobi. This was as soon as immediately I finished high school, 2019. I finished high school 2018, so 2019 I started applying.
How long was the process?
It's really easy. It took me 2 months. Yeah, 2 months or even 1 month. I think, let me say 1 month. Because there is no this long process of medicals and all this and all that. No biometrics, nothing.
Do they need things like bank statement and all those?
No, not really. They don't need all that. It's very easy to go to Malaysia. I think also because we have close ties with Kenya as a country. Malaysia, we have close ties, so it's also easier.
Yeah.
So the main issue that we faced was language barrier. So we thought, okay, going to study in Malaysia, are you sure their mode of communication in school is done through English or Malay? But then when we sought advice from the agent, they advised us that they speak through English, and you're gonna be okay.
So now that you decided to go to Malaysia, did you have family there or?
So I didn't have anyone there. I didn't know anyone except for there was a Kenyan girl I knew through a friend who was in the same university as me. So that's the first person I made contact with when I went to Malaysia. And then funny thing, my parents were also going for a holiday. So they killed 2 birds with 1 stone. So they were going for a holiday in Malaysia, and then they also took me to Malaysia. So it was easier for them. So they went, saw my university, dropped me there, did shopping for me, because I was a very young boy, just finished high school. Dropped me there, and then they went for their holiday. The last day, before going back to Kenya, they came to see me, and and they just left.
So how did you find education in Malaysia compared to now Kenya? Did people take it seriously, or they say if you could game by about they say what?
No. So education in Malaysia, Malaysia is a very strict country. For you to also keep your visa, you have to, your class attendance has to reach a certain level. And usually it was 80%. Below that, your visa might be revoked. So you really have to take your studies serious. And
so for those who go into Malaysia, you have to go strictly for education purposes. No nonsense in between.
Even jobs, because I remember during the first 2 years I went there, we were told when you go to Malaysia you're not allowed to work. But then of course as you stay there and
you learn
meet new people and interact with people and talk with people, of course you get to learn.
Now you are in Malaysia. How was the cost of school fees? Did you manage to raise it yourself? Because you haven't told me that.
So because it was my first country to go to, my parents used to pay my fees for me. But it was affordable. Because I didn't mention it, I did a diploma, an advanced diploma in mechanical engineering. And doing a diploma it's a bit fair. It's not that expensive. So it was fair. So my parents would raise that, and then the only thing that I cater for by myself is accommodation. Food. Accommodation and food and all that.
So what kind of job did you do so that you should be able to cater for all these expenses?
So during my first year, I didn't get a job. Honestly, I just used to stay, just doing nothing. School, back home. School, back home. School, back home. That's all. And then after the second year, I met with some friends now. These are international friends, people from South Sudan, people from Uganda, people from Equatorial Guinea.
Don't tell me you can find Somali from there.
Somalis are there.
Yeah.
I was going to mention it. So Somalis are there. So we interacted with all these people, and then I even Bangladeshis and Nepalese people. So in fact, the few guys who I know who helped me look for a job in the Bangladeshi, this guy called Soikat. Soikat used to work at a hotel called Neil Springs, just close to my campus.
Yeah.
So I told Soikat, come on, help me get this job. How? What do I need? He said, okay, don't worry. I'll go talk to the supervisor, and then we'll see what he can do for you. So there was no the bureaucracies for you to have, I don't know, a certificate, a white card, this certificate, this.
They just need you to be
available. You to be there. You go, they see how you're working the first day, because it's more of manual jobs. Yeah. So I went to the hotel the next day. I told them I'm here for a job. They took me to a place called it's still in the same hotel. It's a section. It's called housekeeping. They took me down there, gave me a uniform, told me okay, go start doing your job. So I met my supervisor in charge of food and breakfast, and then from there on I just started working. They'll tell you go mix coffee, bring it here, help wash the dishes. Bring it back, wipe it, all that. So I was the first, I think I was the second African there. There was a girl from Togo. She was working there. But then she never told us that there are jobs being offered here.
They just kept it for herself.
Yeah, she just kept it for herself. So after my first few weeks there, I was like, nah, this job is really good. Of course, in Malaysia they don't pay much, especially for these labor jobs. They don't pay you that much. It's just enough for you to sustain your monthly expenses. Not enough for you to save, not enough for you to pay your fees, not enough for you to send home, none of that. So I went to campus. I met my friends. I told my friends, okay, I got a job. How many of you are interested? They told me, come on, where's the job at? We're interested. I told them it's at a hotel. Just simple jobs, washing dishes. You get to work for 12 to even 15 hours, so that you get that money that is going to help you pay your rent. Because you cannot work for 5 hours there. They used to pay us 8 ringgits an hour. So 8 ringgits is like 8 times, it's about 240 Kenyan shillings
an hour. 240.
240. So it's not that much. But there it's enough to sustain. So if you wanted to make good money, you have to work long hours. Okay? At some point, we even used to work from 6 a.m. till midnight, 1 even 2, helping setting up events.
If you don't have determination and hard work,
if you're not determined, my friend, you won't survive. People came, some guys who I helped bring into the hotel. They came
and they left.
After a few days, they quit. Too much work, we are tired. I don't know what. But the good thing is that in a hotel, you're given food. Whatever food the clients are eating or the people who are visiting the hotel are eating, that's the same food you're going to eat. If
but
they're eating,
the moral is, if you are not determined, if you are not persistent, and that's why I always say to, like my dad used to tell us, he says, 4 things will make a man. Fear of God. Family. Hard work. And consistent. He used to tell us that even up to now, he just say, if you can't have the 4 of them, even if you're poor and you still maintain the 4 things, the likeliness of you succeeding is so high. And that's why for me, I hang on to those dearly, and I always tell people, hey, I'm a Muslim, but family first. You see? So,
So that's how it went. I introduced people to the job. You know, if you get something, you're not supposed to just survive by it alone or keep it to yourself. No, go tell people, go introduce people. Let us people also earn money and also improve themselves. So I told them, okay, there's jobs here. Let's work together. And they enjoyed it up to now. Some are still working. Even some guys who I brought came and even overtook me in terms of leadership, and they became big people in that hotel.
So, what were your leisure time? What did you do in Malaysia as a leisure? You know, when you working and you're not in school.
So for me, when I wasn't in school, I used to play football, I used to play basketball, and I used to work out a lot. I go to the gym.
Gym.
Yes.
So you're into gymnastics.
Yes.
That's good. Now, moving forward, talk to me a little bit about your other adventure, that is modeling.
Oh, modeling. So I was to go there.
Yeah.
So during this process of me also helping people get jobs in the hotel, I met a guy called Rahul. Rahul is from Equatorial Guinea. He has been doing modeling from way back, even when he was still in his country.
Yeah.
So we created a bond. We became good friends. We were working in the hotel. Even we used to have these conversations where we just talk about things, and we were like, "Come on, man, we need to open a podcast.
Yeah.
We need to open a podcast and share with people what we're talking about." Because we just used to laugh. It used to be fun. So we would continue working for hours and hours without even feeling like we are
Because
tired.
there was something.
Yeah, because there was something. We
distracting
just
you.
used to interact and be happy and enjoy and talk and joke and all that. So Rahul told me, there is a casting tomorrow for modeling. Do you want to try? Because I can see you have the height, you have good looks, physically you look well. Come on, let's give it a try. I was like, man, are you sure I'm going to make it? I was like, what's the problem? Let's go give it a try. And then we went. Went for the casting, 3 of us, Rahul, me, and a guy called Dios. 2 of them are from Equatorial Guinea. So we went together. We did the casting, some posing for the photo, doing a walk. Remember, this is my first time.
Yeah.
First time. I remember I took my phone before walking. I was like, how am I supposed to walk as a model? I Googled on YouTube, and then I saw, and then I was like, okay, fine, got it. How to pose for a photo, I got it. And I walked the runway. There were judges there. You introduce yourself. How tall are you? Where are you coming from? What do you do? Your occupation, blah blah blah, all that. After we finished that casting, they were like, we're going to announce the selected contestants. I knew I had no way of making this one.
Yeah. You just showed up.
Yeah.
But you had no confidence in saying
I
out.
didn't have any confidence in myself. But then I got an email. You have been selected, so you are going to participate for, it was called My Digital Fashion Week. That was my first ever show that I did. This was actually after the pandemic, so they were trying to like bring the new designers into the market now.
Yeah.
And showcase their products after the pandemic. So I did that. I worked for a few designers. And that's when my journey started. I did a catalog for an online shopping brand called Zalora in Malaysia. And my biggest now thing that I did in Malaysia was working for Kuala Lumpur Fashion Week. Yeah, that was the biggest thing I did.
So because we see people walking on an island, coming back, changing clothes over and over, are you buying those clothes or what's going on?
You're not buying those clothes. So those clothes are for designers. There's a designer who wants to showcase
Their
his
product?
or her products. So what they'll do, they'll get models depending on the fit for the clothes. They're gonna be models who are 6 foot tall, some who are 5 foot tall, some who are plus size, some who are masculine, some who are slim. So depending on how you look physically. So you showcase the clothes, come backstage. So it's just like a room like this, backstage. Come backstage, change fast, and then you go showcase the clothes. After you're done, come again, change, do for another designer. So it used to be like that. Yeah.
So what was the pay? Or by that time for you, when you get an email, the motivation was not the pay, but the motivation was the goal. Which
So
were you?
you remember, mind you, this was after my first ever
Attempt in
modeling. So I was telling you about now the biggest one that I did.
Yeah.
Was Kuala Lumpur Fashion Week, and this was during my last year in Malaysia.
Yeah.
I had already completed my studies. This was my last year in Malaysia, and I was like, I have to leave this country with something good. I need to leave a legacy in this country.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's what I told the judges. Because during the casting also for Kuala Lumpur Fashion Week, they asked me, so why do you do modeling? So I explained to myself, I told them, this is my last year in Malaysia here, it's something new to me. I enjoy it, doing modeling, and I need to leave a legacy because this is my last year here.
Yeah.
And I would really love to be part of Kuala Lumpur Fashion Week. It's a very big thing.
Yeah.
And I got selected. Yeah. So in Malaysia, of course, the pay is not as much as you expect. When you compare to Paris Fashion Week, Milan Fashion Week, New York, or even Melbourne. They are not so.
But the most important thing for you was to get exposed.
Yes, the most important thing for me was to get exposed. So right now, at least I have something under my name.
Yeah.
If I'm to go look for a job in Australia, Melbourne, or Sydney, which is related to modeling, I'll tell them, yeah, I worked for this and this designers in Malaysia, and yeah.
Because I always find and I always really struggle with this. Sometimes our Kenyan brothers and sisters, you find them a job and you say, hey, my job is hiring people.
Yeah.
Do you want to come and work, or I can go watch for you from HR department? The funny question most of us Kenyan will ask is, how much are they paid? So they don't care about putting the food in, they just care about the pay.
Yeah.
But for you, you like, I'll take it.
Yes.
Once I get in, I can maneuver my way up, which is a very good character actually, to be specific.
And not only should that be applied in modeling, but also in any industry that you're trying to apply or get a job. Even the engineering field like me, if I'm to get an internship even without pay, or someone is giving me a job without pay, I will go because I know after all that I'm getting experience. Okay, and I will use that to my benefit when I'm applying for another job. So it's better it's good if you're not being paid, but at least you're
getting skills. So
skills.
what are you telling someone who's outside there who is planning to do modeling? Because most men, modeling is unheard of. Because for me, I know I've seen, like I said to you, I know a lady who's doing modeling, So what do you say to young men or young boys, the upcoming generation who are aspiring to do modeling?
So modeling is very broad. Modeling it's a very big field. You'll see people doing. I also did this. I did a TV casting. These are for adverts. So those are still models who you see in those adverts for TV. Maybe they're advertising Nivea, they're advertising cigarette brands or anything or alcohol. Those are models. So choose a field that you want to do. If it's advertising, choose it. If it's more into catwalking, choose it. If it's more into brand representing, which is just taking photos for brands, do it. So also modeling will teach you a lot of things. You have to be trained for how to care for your skin, how to be tidy.
Nothing like emotional modeling.
No. No such thing. Modeling will teach you a lot of things. These are things I also learned when I was there. I never put makeup on my face. Then I went there, they put makeup on me.
Because you are a brand.
You're a brand,
and you have to represent.
Exactly. So for those who are trying to be models, go try. You never know. You never know what is waiting for you there. Go try.
Now, Trevor, you left Malaysia. You went back to Kenya.
Yes.
Why you didn't choose to extend your visa in Malaysia?
So I was looking for something better than Malaysia. Okay.
You are kind of person who always want.
Yes. I want more. Okay, I've been in Malaysia for 3.5 years. Okay. Of course, you've made friends. You've made progress in life. You've had relationships and all that. But of course, okay, you're going to leave these things and seek something better.
Greener
This is always not enough. You just have to look for more.
Because when you say that, I tend to see what really affects most of us here, especially when I used to live in Sydney. People tend to get contented quickly with only one thing. You come in and you start working you do manual jobs. And you find manual jobs, they pay around. I heard nowadays they pay $250, and others they pay $350.
Yes.
So you come in, you start with that one, because you see $350, and this is the catastrophe where most Kenyans are failing. They convert the money into Kenyan shillings, and they feel like, wow, I've made it, you know.
More.
Now they have self-security that says all is good.
Yes.
And then when you tell them it's time for us to move to another job or to another field, they don't want to move because they're already stable.
Yeah.
So you ask yourself, why do this job, which is a manual job, and it depends on season. If it is extremely hot, you can't work. If it is extremely cold, you can't work. If it's extremely rainy, you can't do it.
Yeah.
So it depends when the weather is favorable. That's the only time you can go and work.
Yeah.
Then you ask someone, why is your security in this job? Why don't you push for more? Then you find that they're always comfortable. But for me to sit down and to you and I listen to your story and you're telling me you had an opportunity, but you feel like you can get more. Then that is for me that's a plus, you know. You're showing that you got an opportunity, but you are not contented with it. You still wanna go for more, because if someone else will say, at the end of the day, I have a name. I'm in overseas, you know. I have a name. So what's the point? And my parents are able to pay for me. What's the point? I can hang in. Okay, so how long did you stay in Kenya?
So after I left Malaysia, I stayed in Kenya for 6 months. I stayed in Kenya for 6 months. And during this period I was staying in Kenya for 6 months, I spent majority of my time with my dad.
Still being humble enough to learn again. Because by that time I feel like you had already seen the world and you can just go wherever you want. You know?
Of course, but during this period we did some farming with my dad, and we traveled back up country, and then we'd get to meet with local boys and also just local people, and you interact with them. You don't have to be above them. No, bring yourself down to their level, interact with them, get to know these people. They teach you something as well. So I humbled myself. Did a lot of farming with my dad during this period, driving him around, just talking, interacting as two men. It was really fun time. Really enjoyed it.
When did you decide to say, now I want to move to the new chapter of going to Australia? And why did you?
So this was my plan. After I left Malaysia, it was part of my plan. Okay, I was like, okay, so now what's next? Okay, I need to go to. I looked through different countries. I looked through US, I looked through United Kingdom, through Canada, and then I was like, okay, I think Australia would be good for me, because Australia is it's a diversified country, both culturally and also in terms of ethnicity. I needed something close to Asia, because Malaysia to me, or Asia in general, is like a second home to me. Okay, that's where I spent 3 years of my early teenage years
and you feel like
in Malaysia, and I feel like
you are raised well there.
Yes, I interacted very well with Asians. So in terms of even the food, I can cook you very good Asian food. So I feel like I call Malaysia my home. So to me, Australia, because it's close to Asia, I feel like I'm also at home. And also you get a lot of Asians here.
A lot of Asians in Australia.
So it was my plan. As soon as I left Malaysia and went to Kenya, I was like, okay, I'm gonna settle for where? Australia. Climate-wise as well, Australia is the best. There's no winter.
Absolutely.
Even if it's cold, it's not cold compared to Canada, where there's snow and temperatures are even going -10, -20. No, that's extreme. So that's why I settled for Australia.
So you start the process and you say you're going for a degree in Darwin University. Did you use agent in Eldoret or agent in Nairobi?
I used agents in Nairobi. Do I have to mention agents?
No, we've only options, because soon options we're gonna have a contract with them.
Maybe let me market them also. I used an agent in an education consultant in Westlands. They're called Uni Abroad.
Evelyn?
Yes. No. Is it Evelyn? No, I think Irene. Not Evelyn. But even before this, Uni Abroad, they have think they have a contract with another one called IDP. IDP is I think it's an international company, so it was also in Malaysia. When I was in Malaysia during my last year, I went to these agents called IDP, and I told them, yeah, I'd like to advance my studies and I would like to go to Australia. So they put me in their system, but then unfortunately they told me it would be hard for us to process for you this visa
From Malaysia.
when you're in Malaysia.
Yeah.
It is much easier
You
when
go
you're
back
in your
home.
own country.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, it's fine. So I went to the same people they referred me to in Kenya. They said, you have offices in Westlands, so go see them, go talk to them, they might help you. So as soon as I arrived in Kenya, that's the first place I went to. Yeah.
Now, you got your visa, and your dad called me and said, on this date and date, my son probably will be traveling. What was the feeling inside you when you got your visa to Australia? You know, because sometimes people apply and they don't get it.
So for you to get a visa, first of all, you really need patience. This process requires patience. That's one thing I realized.
Yeah.
And I did not only apply for one uni, I applied for several universities. So one uni, they didn't get back to me. So I resorted to just coming to Darwin.
That is the best decision you made.
Yes.
Because when you study in Darwin, be it a diploma and then you do an advanced diploma, you are in a position to apply for permanent residence at the end of it, you know? So that was a good thing.
Yes.
Now, having been able to live in Malaysia and now you are in Australia and as a youth, now you can see that we have a crisis of drug abuse, especially the vaping or something like that.
Yeah, vaping, cigarette use.
What do you think? What do you think is the reason for all this?
I feel like it's more of should I say peer pressure? I think it's just more of peer pressure. You see your friend using it, you want to use it. It's more like it's like a cult. It's like a cult. Because everyone is using it, so yeah. Sometimes if I don't use it, I want to be seen as a.
You feel like you haven't.
Yeah, or you're not cool. People.
Sometimes I feel like because you see people coming in, they are different, and then once they start earning, they are changed straightly. They change the way they dress, they change the way they behave, and sooner or later you catch up our brothers and sisters starting abusing alcohol. You feel like, are they fitting in, or they feel like now they have everything? Because someone like me, sometimes when I interact with them and they feel like I don't drink alcohol, they call me Uber driver, or they say, oh, you are missing out on the fun. I don't know, how do you feel in your world, you know, when you're hanging around with these people and when you're hanging around with the fellow youth and you feel like, oh man.
Usually for me, I usually don't judge people. You do whatever you want to do. We are all not safe. You know what brought you here in the first place. You know what principles govern you. You know what you live for yourself. You know, if I do this, it's not healthy. If I do this, it's healthy for me. So that's all for me.
So you feel like if you miss the stepping pillars, the foundation to why you came here or to why you yearn for that success, then even if you go astray, then you have no one to blame actually, because already you go against
you put yourself in that situation.
Because you go against the first things that you had set to attain. But like for you now, I feel like you put yourself in a sense that you are a young man and you still have a long way to go and you don't want anything other than going.
No, you don't want to jeopardize all that just through alcohol. Anything can happen when you abuse this drug. You never know. So it's best if you just stay away. It's best if you stay away.
Now, as I try to...
Or even if you're using it, use it in moderation. That's what I'll just tell people. Use it in moderation.
Try to keep the goal.
Let it not block your vision. You know, let it not block your vision. You have that tunnel vision. Let it not block it. Just continue staying focused.
Now, I want to congratulate you on one thing.
Thank you.
I don't know if you know this one, but from my data collection, probably you're the first person to come to, especially Darwin or even Sydney, that I've seen that are arrived and didn't just relax. You came here and you're trying to say, hey, I need to open a bank, I need to run this, I need to run this. And you look like you've been here before. Is it that due to the experience that you already been in Malaysia and you know the system and you know that I have a goal? What is the driving power behind you? Because last time I talked to you, you're doing this. The next time I meet you again, you're like, hey Salim, I'm doing DoorDash. The next time, hey, I'm calling you, you're like, hey, I'm running to get an interview for an interpreter. What is the driving force behind you, man?
Well, for me, I'm just motivated. I'm just motivated. There's something I'm chasing after in life. This is really personal for me, but I'm always very, very motivated. I'm a very motivated person. I never like just staying and watch opportunities pass by. You have to grab everything that comes your way. And you don't have to be judgy and say, okay, I don't want to do this, I don't want to. Nah, take everything that comes your way. You never know who you're going to meet there. You never know what experiences you're going to learn or new experiences you might learn. So for me, my driving force is, I don't know how to put it, but there's something that, because always just,
I was talking to my missus and I say to her, this guy looks like he will get sick if he just sit at home. Because every time I call you and you're like, oh, I'm doing this or I'm doing this, or you come to my house and you're like, oh, I need to go to Palmerston now because it's the time now, it's ready for me to make money, And I'm like, and my missus is like, this guy. I'm like, yeah, leave him alone. He's another man that people need to understand, because we have most of Kenyans who come here and surely you tell them you apply for this job and this job, but they will still sit down and be contented. They will not say, oh, I will take even the $3 job, meanwhile as I wait for this job. But for you, I don't know. And I say to my missus, I think the advantage point is because this guy is already exposed and maybe he's ambitious, but that is because I have not talked to you before so that I can get to know. Now I understand the driving power behind you is like, you're always on the go. You always want more, and especially when there's an opportunity, which is something good. Now, what do you tell our fellow youth, boys and girls who are still applying to come to this place or who are already here and you told them or apply for this company and they feel like only that company, they have to wait for only that company. They don't want to try their hands on any other thing, or be it say, oh Salim, you have a kid, I can look after your kid, pay me this certain amount of money. What do you tell people like that?
I want to tell them, don't be choosy with what you're being offered or what's out there. Take everything that's there, take it. If it's cleaning, if it's a cleaning job, take it. If it's mowing someone's lawn, go do it. If it's work in the hotel, go do it. Just always be on the go. That's what I'm just going to tell them. Always be on the go. Always be on the watch out. If there's something, you hear something here, take it. If you meet with people, you're networking with someone, tell them what you want. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Tell them, I want a job. Tell me, where can I get this job? There's nothing is going to, it's not going to kill you, or it's not going to do something bad. He will try in whatever way he can. And always be persistent. If you know you want something, sumbua. Always bother them until you get it.
That's why I always say, if you apply for a job, I'll tell people, even in my YouTube, I say, call Monday, call Wednesday, and just call Friday, say, hey, I'm just doing a follow-up, until they'll be like, we need this guy. Just leave him because
or even someone will be like, okay, give him the job so that he stops disturbing us.
Because you show that really you want it. Now, having been in Australia for the short period you've been, especially in Darwin, what are the things that you already learned about this area, and what's the driving force for you now?
So, what have I learned during this?
Because the short period,
few weeks I've been here. One thing that is important is being patient. You have to be patient. You cannot hurry. Because even me, when I left Kenya, I was like, okay, within the first week that I arrived in Australia, I'll need to have a job. Within the first week. That's what I was thinking. let me arrive here, and then now I realize, oh, there's a lot of things you have to get.
Yeah.
You have to get some certificates. You have to get some. You have to tailor your CV to a certain way. It's not just the way you used to write CVs in your country. No.
Yeah.
You have to tailor it to the job that you want. So.
And also, there's something I'll tell you before you cut you short. There's something you will also you will learn along the way.
Yeah.
I'd rather tell you now in advance.
Yes.
Australia is really different. Even when you write an email, when you're communicating when you're expressing your frustration. So what they use is a 3K. It's a 3K. So the 3K stands for keys, keep, keys. So the problem with us Kenyan, when someone bothers you, let's say your team leader or your manager bothers you and you're not happy, you always say, oh, you this, you that, you that. Australians don't do that. Australians went like this. Oh, you're the best. I've known you for this and that. You're always good at this and this. And then the second line now, that was kiss.
That was kiss.
Now they go to keep. Following the previous interaction I had with you, I don't like you at all, blah, blah, blah. And I hope you change. Okay? That is a kick. Now they come to kiss. They say, I look forward to seeing you, and I look forward to chatting with you again and learning more from you. Okay? Thank you, and bring us an end. They kiss. So if you read that message, they praise you, they kick you, and they praise you. Okay? That's Australia. So I'll tell you that in advance so that tomorrow you
just new to me.
Don't pour your feelings.
Because for us Kenyans, we go straight away.
Don't go straight to the kicking. If you kick, they will. Now the manager will escalate the case to the senior most and say, I talked to so and so, and he appeared rude to me. Blah 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 blah. Okay, that's why now this one happens mostly with Nigeria because Nigerians they are tone. Even though they are not,
even if they're not raising your voice at you,
they have that tone, and then people will be like, oh, I'm scared of you. And if people are scared of you, they don't hire you or they don't keep you in a job because they say, hey, you know. So you need to learn this thing quickly so that when you get into the jobs, you should be able to know that no matter the situation, if you have to respond to something that you are not happy, follow the 3 Ks. Keys, keep, kiss. You will always be good.
That's true. That's true.
So, as we conclude this podcast, I'd like to take this time to say thank you very much.
Yes.
I don't take for granted your time, and I look forward to hosting you more, and we look forward to working together.
Sure.
And above all, I look forward to learning from you. Especially, I've already learned one thing from you. And I've already downloaded the DoorDash app. You helped me. I say, I want to try what you're doing. It doesn't. I've been here for almost 7 years, almost 8, but still, when you come up with something new like that, and I was like, well, I'm up for the challenge too. I need to learn something from you. So I look forward to still learning more from you, and I wanna see you advancing your career in terms of modeling here in Australia. And I'll be more than happy to call a few friends in Sydney that I know are doing modeling, so that they can at least push you to a certain place, you know. Otherwise, we say thank you. And to our viewers, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and above all, share. Thank you, and see you in another episode. Bye bye.